here with Marci from Qualpay. Marci and I have been buddies for well over 10 years. Marci was helpful when I first got in the market or in the industry because she was like, Andrew, don't talk to them, but definitely talk to them. You were really helpful in that regard, which I'm always appreciative of. I feel like we're going to be working together a lot more on some other projects. Marci, what, obviously we just did the NPGA thing. I think it went well for all of us.
It did.
This conference is always, I use it as like when new people come in for Maderia Group, I always take them here first.
I do too. And you'll notice we had 2 new faces at our booth this time around because it's so wonderful to see all of the people from the industry in one place. And as you said, you can walk folks around, make introductions for them. You can introduce groups such as the Women in Propane Council or the PERT group, or really sort of take advantage to all the opportunities that NPGA has to offer, and then also help your company grow, not just mingle and get new customers, but also to grow within the industry and understand how the industry works.
Yeah, it's a really good conference for like building like on existing relationships, and then like you said, like introducing new staff to those people that you already have relationships with.
Absolutely.
And also what I also use it as like, oh yeah, this is what conferences look like. And then we go to other ones and they're extremely let down. I'm like, oh, wait, I thought it was going to be like NPGA. I'm like,
it's a little smaller. And there are different conferences throughout in different areas of the industry, depending on what type of product you're using. That some of them are a little larger, but this is by far the largest.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know what it is about Nashville that it just enhances the experience. Like there's so much to do. Everybody loves music, and I don't know, it's just I know that they're putting it in Charlotte next year. I'm just, really?
You know, I am excited. I'm excited. It's a new location because we've been doing Atlanta for 2 years and then Nashville for 2 years. And now it's a new place to check out. I haven't really spent a lot of time there, but Nashville is by far my favorite. I completely agree. You have music. Last year we caught a Predators game with a bunch of customers.
We were there with you. Yeah, that was great.
Super fun. And then there's also all of the, the whiskey distilleries. Yep. There's any number of beercades and retro arcades, and just the music. You can't beat it. You really can't. It's really fun.
So all right, I'm going to jump into this right now. You ready? Here we go.
Let's do it.
What gets Marci out of bed in the morning? Like, what gets you so fired up to come to work every morning? I mean, you're such a driven person, and you're so detailed with like what you do. Like, how do you stay fired up all day, every day?
I've always been really driven. It really comes from being raised in a family where everything was, there was a motivation to do everything. I played a lot of athletics growing up. I had a lot of different jobs growing up, but primarily I got into payments because there was a need in the different areas that I was in to be able to reconcile. You look at your books in the morning and you say, oh my goodness, it doesn't match what I thought I did, or there's a large transaction and then all of a sudden payroll is on Tuesday. And you have to make sure that everything is in place. So I started that around 20 years ago, which ages me a little bit.
I'm right with you.
But, and so I started that and got into industry and utility payments. And then recently went over to Qualpay maybe about 5 years ago. And Qualpay is an employee-owned business. And so we wake up in the morning and really can set the direction of the company. And we can provide our customers with the level of customer service that we believe they deserve. And we can innovate new technologies to help the customers grow, but also to help our own business grow as well. So for me, it's super exciting because I have the ability to say, I spoke with this customer, this is what they'd like, this is how we can build it, and then a team helps in building that out and then releasing it, and it helps everybody to really sort of get to that next level in their business. So for me, it's exciting, and it also has a piece and an element of, because we're an employee-owned business, there's a sense of urgency for everybody to help. So when I get up in the morning and I do my job, product can do their job, and underwriting can do their job. And we are a really big family in that sense. And it's a very unique place to work as opposed to other places that I've been.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we work with the best partners too, because we've known folks as we've grown up in the industry as well. and we can talk the same language, but also we can introduce new products, or someone can say, hey, I want to do this. Have you ever heard of that? And then we can sort of work together to build that out as a concept for our mutual customers.
The diversifying ourselves and like innovating is, I think, going to be really important, especially because, you know, I don't care. We're in the oil and the propane sides, both of us. I know we're NPGA, and we're talking mainly propane, but you and I both are in both sides of this.
We are,
and
absolutely.
It's consolidating quite quickly.
It is.
So let me ask you this: so and because we've seen a little of this, so the industries are consolidating, right? You know, with the companies buying other companies. Have you had to do anything at Qualpay as far as like innovating or diversifying with the consolidation happening as fast as it has?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So as you have a consolidation, you have companies that are purchasing smaller or lateral size companies, and they're bringing them underneath the fold. And one of the largest things in payments specifically that's happened is you have all of this payment data that's been saved underneath a company. That data is not traditionally owned by the company itself. What happens is it's owned at a vault at the gateway level. And not to get too deep in it, but essentially somebody else owns your payment data, believe it or not.
That's crazy.
And so it is completely crazy. And so when we started the energy division of Qualpay, the first thing we did is transition ownership of all of the payment data back to the individual marketers. So that leverages the ability for you to say, number one, we're going to keep you honest every single day with all of your pricing, because now I own my data and I can take it anywhere. Number two, it allows them the ability to move between software providers or move between different things that they have that they may need with new technologies, because they own that data. And if they're purchasing a new location, we can actually take that data, we can migrate it in a PCI secure manner, and combine it with the rest of their data that they have, so they no longer have to have multiple merchant accounts and multiple gateways. It streamlines it. So we have one or two, maybe even more, that have 40 locations, but they have one single login and they have different profiles for all of their accounts. So if you want to chat with the Portland, Maine division, you can see all of their reporting and all of their payments. If you want to look at the California division, you can do that as well. So it was really that piece of it. And then in turn, we transition the ownership of that data back to the individual marketer, but we store it in a secure manner. And then if you ever need it for a new software, or for whatever reason you're becoming acquired and you need to move that data to somebody else, we completely 100% support that. And that's really the big thing right now that's happening in the industry, is that we're seeing, it's not everybody, but there are a few bad players that don't necessarily share that data. And so we're really working hard to make sure everybody's set on the same level playing field.
Do you feel like, you know, and I love that, because we do the same thing. Like, you own your HubSpot, you own you own your website, you own your content on the website. Like we, if God forbid, you know, we have to part ways with, you know, a client, or a client gets bought by someone else, you know, that they're particular about their firm that they're using, and, you know, we have to hand it all over. It's super smooth. There's no issues or anything like that. And also, we don't ask clients to sign contracts with us. Like, we shake hands. We're like, you know, give us 30 days notice if you want to change or whatever. And honestly, I can't remember if we've ever really lost a client because we've done something wrong, just mainly through acquisition.
Us as well.
Yeah,
same thing. We do have some banking contracts that need to be signed, just because there's an element of credit cards, but we don't have any termination penalties or anything like that. We want to earn your business every day. And because we really do care about all of our customers, we feel like we do a good job, and we've never lost a customer other than from an acquisition.
I think that's, especially in our industry, I think that is so respectable, you know? So you could tell either existing clients or new ones coming in for you at Qualpay, like, one thing that you really want them all to do that they're not doing. What is it?
The one thing is to check their Amex statements, because until October of this year, anything over $1 million in American Express per year would have to have an Amex direct relationship, which was a little bit more expensive, which is why nobody wanted to accept Amex. But now they've released a utility rate on the Amex side. And the utility rate is a flat rate of 75 cents for anything under $1,000, and 1.5 for anything over $1,000, which makes it less expensive than a Visa now.
Oh, wow.
So it's crazy. So if you're not accepting Amex, it's part of the OptBlue program. Reach out to your payment processor, make sure that they set you up for that program. And they're going to say, well, if you're doing over $1 million in volume, then you have to go direct. You no longer have to. They've released the cap. So now Amex can go into your normal batching as well. It's amazing. It's a game changer for folks. And that is certainly something that folks should look into.
Awesome.
Big one. Yeah. Huge one for this year.
I'm going to make sure that I keep that in the back of my head to remind the clients that we work with, for sure.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
All right. Enough industry stuff. So I've asked a couple people this on my podcast, and I feel like you'll have a really good answer, and that's just putting the pressure on you to give a good answer.
Of course. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. Okay, let's do this.
So we're both, I think, right around the same age. Mm-hmm. And if you could tell your 20-year-old self something that obviously you know what you know now. Mm-hmm. You could tell your 20-year-old self something and either kick that person in the ass or give them a little bit of guidance.
Yeah.
What would it have been?
It would have been to not take myself so seriously.
It's such a good one. Oh.
I mean,
it's
for real,
yeah.
I feel like I did, and I need to be a little honest in saying my 25-year-old self, not to take myself so seriously, my 19 to 23-year-old self toured with the Grateful Dead. And I had a good old time in college. I had a lot of fun. Yeah. But then I got out and had the conversation of, okay, now it's time. I've had my fun. I really want to get out there. I really want to work. I want to get a job. And I did. I got into payments based off of my childhood experience of trying to manage books for like a business that my father owned in terms of like ice blasting and those types of things and helping with that aspect of it. And so I went right in and I just pedaled to the metal. I lived in Germany for a little bit of time, going from Germany to Maine to Germany to Maine. And then, and now it's like, okay, we did this. We can make this happen. And I'm excited that I did that. But I feel like, I think everybody has a sense of humor. And you can sort of let your hair down and enjoy the people that you have in the industry, because those are the people that are going to stay for the long term. And those are friends you're going to have for the rest of your life. So, not to say that you and I didn't have a lot of fun.
And we're still going to have fun.
We
might just end a little bit earlier than it used to. Yeah.
It ends at 10:30 now. Yeah. But yeah, I would say that, that would be the big thing. And then, again, just to enjoy it, because time is so precious and so limited that we really want to make sure that we're making the best of every single moment.
Would you agree that, and I'm just touching the industry really quick again.
Yeah.
That for anyone new trying to break into like the industry we work in, that you better hang in there for 5 years, because they organically like vet you for 5 years. And then all of a sudden you show up at a conference and they're like, okay, I'm ready to talk to you now.
Yes, 100%. The other thing that I would say is that there are excellent opportunities, not just through the NPGA, but also through state associations as well, that have mentorship programs. And you can volunteer at an association level, and you can learn so much faster at a more expedited rate just by having a mentor that could help you. And it doesn't even have to be at your company. You could find someone that would be able to just sort of walk you through and introduce you to people and be there to bounce ideas off of. We did that organically, just bouncing ideas off of each other. Now there's actually people that are set up that are willing to say, I'll help you. We'll have a call once a week, whatever you need, I'm on it. Let's do it. And don't be afraid to do that. And don't be afraid to reach out with questions. Even if it's a competitor, if it's something they can't answer, they'll tell you. But most of the time, you can chat with somebody and they'll be open and honest about the challenges that they're having. Because at the end, we really do want everybody to succeed.
I love that. I had no idea. I'm going to look into that. We do a decent job, I think, onboarding newbies.
Yeah.
And like getting them prepped to like speak the fuel language, I call it. But I think them talking to just other people and like asking questions that maybe I'm not even thinking of to prepare them for would be good. All right. So what do you want from Marci in the next 5 or 10 years? It could be personal, it could be for work, it could be for your family, whatever you want. But what's going to make you super excited in 5 or 10 years if you accomplish it?
I am pretty content. I'm a pretty driven person. I'm pretty content. Qualpay just received the endorsement from the NPGA as the national or most endorsed credit card processing company. We worked on that for a really long time. We're really excited about it. What would make me content is just to take care of all of our customers, be able to take care of my family, and really just be able to grow relationships that I have within the industry. And other than that, I'm a pretty happy person.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Marc, so I always end these things with letting whoever I'm sitting with ask me anything you want, life, industry, work, whatever you want.
Okay. All right, I got to think hard because you've chatted with a lot of people. A lot of people.
Here, I'll buy you some time. You ready? I'll buy you some time. So what happens like lately now is like the people that are like listening to the podcast and I bring them on.
Yep.
They already have their question prepped because they know that I end it like that.
Yep.
So this is the way that I know that you're not listening to our podcast.
I don't have time to listen, unfortunately. But that's part of like slowing it down and taking it easy. Okay. Favorite sport?
I mean, it's tough because I played soccer and basketball. I still play both today.
Okay.
I'm playing the men's league for soccer. The over 30
The
league.
cardiac league?
Yeah, well, we have beers after. But the over 30 league, because I played I subbed for like one of my buddies' teams in the under 30 league, and I was like, holy shit, you guys are still like really fast.
Yeah.
And like you guys can like run the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I can't do that. So I'm in the over 30 league, which is still very competitive.
It's very
awesome.
competitive, yeah.
But basketball, God, there's something about like, I play in a basketball league still. And like, I still want the ball at the end of the game. Like, and the clock's winding down, like we're down or we're up, and like the right decisions need to be made with, with the ball or who has the ball, and I want it. So I have to probably say basketball. I love watching NCAA basketball. The NBA is, take it or leave it kind of. But yeah, I think basketball.
All right. Well, let's catch a game. I love it.
Let's do it. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Marci, thanks so much, dear.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.